There we go. Okay. Welcome to the June 6th meeting of the Bylaws Advisory Committee. Meeting will begin at 10:04 a.m. And we have and everyone's here. Thank you for coming. And we've had quite a long break in between meetings, and I apologize for those cancellations. Unavoidable. So, anyway, no public comment. And the minutes of the May 2nd meeting. June. Okay. Yes, these are.
I don't know if
I think you sent them out.
not the minutes.
I don't
know.
And take a look at this, because
Thank
this
you.
may be slightly
Yeah,
different
it's-
than what I gave you. Okay.
Did you pass something else out just now?
There's a few other things,
Oh,
what we've been
oh,
working on.
this here? Or, oh, that's one, that's
You
mine.
put that.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't need to know, I don't know if you need to add that I had left early at all from the meeting, but, okay, that's fine.
All right. Do we have a motion to accept the meetings of our May 2nd meeting?
So moved. A second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The minutes are approved unanimously. All right, next to the next item, unlawful noise bylaw. I resent it again to Ed. I haven't heard back on the noise bylaw. So, keep after him. I admit between then and now, I haven't really been after. I mean, I sent it already. This, I think, is the third time. So I haven't spoken with him, because every time I see him, we end up talking about other things, but I will, when I leave here, go down and mention specifically to him, just to give us some feedback, to let us know if we're within our parameters. Okay? All right, then item number 5 is continuing on our progress towards the items listed on our tracking form. So we had a number of things to go over, and Janine and Jonathan, I believe, also worked on a couple of items. So let's look at the...
So let me just, if I can hand this out, because it's going to relate to this, it may not relate to anything we talked about today, but the email that I sent out back in April, just kind of looking at where different things on licenses are found in the bylaws. So it's just a general reference. So I gone ahead and printed it out so everyone can have a copy to work with. Unfortunately, it didn't occur to me to staple the 2 pages here. So if it becomes attached, hopefully it doesn't get confusing. So that's it.
Thank you.
This is for you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did get that.
So it's another copy in your file if you don't have it already.
Well, someday I'm gonna clean out my folder.
I'm afraid to say, throw anything away. I keep
Right.
carrying this around because I don't know
Yeah.
if, because we're between 2 versions.
Right.
I'm afraid to throw anything away. Okay, then, Jonathan, you want to go through this, or do we want to go through the, save this for last, or talk
Oh.
about the items that are appropriate in this document as we talk about
Yeah,
the...
it just, well, if you can remember back a few meetings ago,
Yeah.
we talked about, it looked like licenses was in different places. So, so this is just kind of a reference tool as we go through, just to know that it's talked about in different places, because it seems as if we're talking about it in one place, almost as if it's broad authority for the select board, and then it keeps creeping up in other places. So it's just something to keep in mind. So at some point, if you have a chance to look at it, it doesn't have to be today. If we talk about Article 6 today, then there's one thing on licenses there. But we'll be referring back to other places, including Article 4, I think. Well, but I left, for some reason, I didn't put in here, because maybe we'd already just talked about it, what we have on licenses and permits. And is it addressed in the current Article 4? I know that we're putting something in.
Yes.
No, it's not. Not in what now exists. Not in Article 4, I mean, but Article 3, I guess, on the select board. No, so that's something we've added. So what I did was I looked in the current bylaws, and that's why the first article is Article 6 that mentions licenses or permits. We talked about, and we've approved already in Article 3 on the select board,
Right.
a provision or two on permits and licenses. Anyways, so that's just for reference. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Okay, well, that, I mean, you did a lot of cross-referencing. That will help us as we go through. I mean, to at least alert us to go back and verify that we're at least consistent among and between all the different articles. Wow. And I'm sure that licenses and permits may not be the only reference that appears across the different bylaws, and again, for consistency purposes.
This is going to be really helpful. The way you
Yeah.
put it all laid out.
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
Okay, so do we want to move to the version from that Janine gave out today on the town clerk? And just verify and put it to bed that all the changes that have been made are the final changes for this draft?
Well, yeah, I got confused last time. I didn't take a note. There's something I was going to do on, I think it was Article 4, but I'm not sure what. But Janine, you did something, right, after our last meeting, or is this just what existed before our last meeting?
No, I updated from our last meeting.
Based on what we
But I
talked
thought you were going to add the sections.
Do you recall, anyone recall what that was? Because
You know how we're...
when I finally got to it a few weeks ago, I'd already, my mind had moved on. I'd forgotten.
I get it.
Yeah. And I should have made a note on
Were
it.
we going to add what you said, sections? Is that it? We can start to lay it out?
Because I don't have any note here.
I did.
But did you make, so you think I was going to add a section on something?
No, you're going to add like section 1.
Yeah, we were going to, so that we had
To be
consistency of format.
Got it. So if that's all, then,
I have a question, though. My last line talks about flammable licenses. What is that?
The gas stations.
Gas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that in some way be spelled out? Because I wondered if it meant, well, I know it isn't the burglary permits, is that those from the fire coming. But,
We actually work with the fire department with that because he goes and makes sure that it does
Yeah.
whatever he
The
needs to
conditions
do.
are right.
Yeah, and then we issue the license.
should that be spelled out, though, so that people know what that is?
How about gasoline dispensing operations
Yeah,
or something
something
like
that-
that defines it better for people?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of our goals, was to make sure people could read and
Yeah.
understand it.
I like that wording, gasoline dispensary, because that's what they do.
what is the term that's currently used in the, by the
Yes.
town administratively?
In the town?
Do they use it?
Flammable.
Yeah.
It does use the term.
Flammable.
Flammable.
That's what the town, downstairs, that's what they use,
Yeah.
okay.
But then say flammable liquids, something that defines it a little bit better than just
Yeah.
flammable.
Yeah, just, yeah.
How about flammable liquid licenses? I mean,
Yeah.
But
I don't know. That could include alcohol for that matter.
Yeah, true.
I don't mean to say-
Well, they do.
What about, what if we put commercial flammable licenses?
That could encompass more than what it actually
True,
does.
yeah, true, yeah.
So it's just for gasoline stations?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the town's highway.
And that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
they have
they
to have
have-
a license too?
Well, they have a gasoline
Yeah.
Pump
pump.
to fill up their,
Their truck, but they have to have a license for that even though they're part of the,
yeah.
their town? So it's a town office that gets its license from the town? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, they have to come and check.
right.
So you want to say gasoline pump licenses?
It's fine, yeah.
Pump dispensary, I don't care.
I'm sure that before we're finished, someone will suggest a
What the-
different. If that doesn't work.
Well, they'll say, oh, it's flammable. Well,
Yeah.
my feeling is you don't know what the
What if we
general
put-
public is.
Yeah.
How about if we
Gasoline slash flammable, I don't know.
Well, except it's not for everything flammable.
Right. It is just for
But
gas.
it really is for gasoline pumps? So it's for any
No,
station?
not the pumps, it's the
No, the
tanks.
pump's not, it's the tanks, yeah.
Gasoline tank licenses. Why don't we call it that?
Okay.
I mean,
We had a problem at one time with the town barns, didn't we? They had to change
They
the,
were old, yeah.
yeah,
Where's that?
the tanks.
The tanks.
They did,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
They
right,
were-
yes.
Yes,
They were
they had to
old,
do
yeah.
that. How about, because gasoline tank licenses could misrepresent to the reader, so gasoline
Tank permit?
storage slash,
That's what they actually are, gasoline
storage
storage
slash,
permits,
okay.
or license, whichever.
except, would someone, if we call it gasoline storage, would someone confuse that with what they have in their garage or basement?
Yeah, because I technically,
Yeah.
Why don't we do gasoline tank licenses, since it seems to be what it pertains to? And let somebody else, when they review it, say, that's confusing, or that doesn't work, does that also include such and such? And we
Right.
go, at least that gets the discussion going.
I would want to use a word like dispensing or something so they understood that it was for more commercial purposes.
Right, that's what I
than
was saying,
residential.
commercial, yeah, it's more, yeah. Like auto shops and that kind of stuff, yeah.
Gasoline dispenser licenses,
Dispensing, yeah.
or dispenser, or? 'Cause you're not
Either one,
dispensing
dispensing,
licenses.
dispenser,
Yeah, dispenser, we think ER probably was.
yeah,
Okay. Gasoline dispenser licenses.
yeah,
Instead of flammable.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the last time, so we're working backwards, we're gonna go up from there.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
question I had. I read it over and I didn't see anything leaping out at me.
So then, was that change? Do we think?
What, does that look?
I was gonna say, with that final
Oh.
change, is everyone okay? No?
So, just a little typo here. In the first paragraph, in the last sentence, next last line where it says, as the public records officer, S/he responds, that should be a smaller s.
Lowercase,
lowercase,
yeah.
lowercase,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Says it's, yeah. And let me just, now that I realize what I was supposed to do, I guess there was a question when we had done the first time, it seemed like some things kind of overlapped. It wasn't just, it was like getting them into proper paragraphs, maybe moving a couple of things around, but
Like
give me,
sectioning them. sectioning them?
Yeah, but not just putting the section number, but,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
But let me just, if you can give me a minute here, let me just quickly see what jumps out at me.
Are you good with this, Lucy?
Yeah.
Should, in the second paragraph, the last line, should decisions be capitalized?
And it should,
Where's that?
lowercase.
Where is it?
Probably lowercase, yeah.
Lowercase.
Yeah.
Where?
It's the second paragraph, the last line.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
decisions, yeah.
Although, are they officially called decisions?
Yes.
And
It's
they
like a
are
bit-
capitalized.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we leave it capitalized then, if that's,
We talk
since it
about-
all, because it has, I imagine essentially has legal authority.
Should
Yeah.
we add in, including town meeting legislation appropriations, hearings and decisions, or just decisions?
Well, a hearing is not, are any decisions made at a hearing, or any rulings at
Yeah.
a hearing? So it's
Yeah.
not just taking, okay, so it's like hearing arguments and then making a decision.
Decision, yeah.
Right.
And who has the hearings?
The
These-
planning or the zoning
These
or, yeah,
different
these two.
committees, planning,
Right.
zoning.
But the decisions, so we keep both, a transcript of the hearing as well as the decisions?
We keep a copy of the notifications, so.
That a hearing is being held? So,
I mean, we don't have to put it in there, it's fine.
well, no, I'm just thinking, and wondering what it adds.
Nothing.
That's,
It's just,
because
you
we
know.
already, the notices, of course, are kept anyways for everything, I would, right?
Yeah.
And they should be,
It's basically the
we-
decisions that we're
yeah,
recording.
right. So not transcripts, though, of the hearings.
No, those.
Well, the minutes.
Those are the minutes.
They're-
Yeah, those are the
That
minutes,
are
so.
from the meeting, plus most of these meetings are recorded anyway.
True,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
right.
ours, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all, and it says the town records and certifies all official
Yeah,
actions.
that's right.
So it's the action, so
Yeah.
it's something that's final.
Yeah.
So we're leaving decisions capital or lowercase.
I'd have it capitalized,
Okay,
since that's how they're
okay.
kept, I think.
All right.
Now, just a couple other grammatical, typos. The big paragraph, third from the bottom, fourth line from the bottom, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting.
That is too common.
Yes, yeah.
Although, you know what? Let me just see, shares are posted. I would take out both commas, actually.
That's yours on you.
Does that make sense? Since it's at least, it's
Yeah.
48 hours prior to the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 48 hours prior. And take it, yeah. Assuming we have all of it. Now, just for clarification purposes, our week by town terms is Monday through Thursday, is that correct? Because those are the only days that the building is open. So you cannot post on a Friday, the meeting for the following week? Is that considered
you can
within the
post
48
on-
hours?
You can post on Friday. It's excluding weekends and holidays.
Holidays, yeah.
Okay,
So it's excluding what your weekends and holidays for purposes of counting 48 hours, right? So if you put something out on Friday at 10 a.m., then 48 hours would be would be Tuesday at 10 a.m., right?
that's what I was thinking, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why it depends on how your meeting falls.
Yeah.
If it falls on Monday, you can't post it on Friday.
Right,
Right.
right.
If the meeting's scheduled, okay.
Wait. Yeah, because of the weekend, yeah.
Okay. all
And if
right,
it's
that-
Thursday, if Thursday's when you post it, then Friday, Monday is when, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Another typo would be on burial agent. Does that need to be capitalized?
Where-
It is capitalized there,
On the
but it
bottom.
should be in lower caps.
Where are you? There.
Next last paragraph,
Okay.
at the bottom of the paragraph. Is that kind of an official
Yes.
It is,
title? or-
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we keep it in upper caps then.
Okay.
Okay, lower uppercase, yeah.
Okay.
What do you actually do with that?
Just,
It's
Sort of,
if
yeah.
someone passes within the town,
Yeah.
in the town, you have to act as the burial agent and you have to give them a permit to
bury.
actually move the body.
to get buried, yeah. It's the disposition of the body,
Right.
so.
Not the death certificate.
No.
That comes from the
That-
medical office.
No, we do the
Comes-
death
we do the death
certificates.
certificates. Yeah.
I'm
But-
saying we.
yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
has to
fine.
be inside the town. It has to be inside the town.
For a burial
Or burial.
permit. For a death certificate, it's anyone
Yeah.
who resides in town,
Okay.
wherever they pass.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever they pass. Yeah.
The Board of Registrars, is that for elections?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
It looks fine to me.
Yeah.
It's fine to me.
It's good work. Because that, right now,
If
we
I
only
have any
have...
thoughts, I will,
yeah.
No.
Because
You know,
this is what we have now.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Here's a question coming up. It has nothing to do with this, but now the mention of a board of registrars. Do we need to have something about that somewhere in our
It's in the
bylaws?
minutes someplace
Yeah.
Okay.
that we will be at.
We will be doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
it'll need to be.
We definitely need to.
Okay.
Because there's no bylaw, right?
No.
I don't
All
think
right.
so.
But maybe a description, I
Just,
think.
yep,
Well, we should have,
Yeah.
someplace that should
yeah.
define what they do.
Right.
And what they could potentially end up doing. Like if there's a recount or
Yeah.
anything like that, they get involved.
Yes, we're just in that, yes.
The treasure collectors went from one line to a lot, but that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so town clerk, do we want to accept it with these?
With the changes
With the
being the
changes.
lowercase s in the first paragraph. The change in the fourth paragraph, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. And then in the last sentence, something about gasoline dispenser licenses. Those were the only changes, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we're good.
I motion to accept.
I'll
Article 4.
gladly. Okay.
So we can say that's complete.
Okay.
Now you'll have
We
to
had a
send this to
second?
Ed. Oh, someone seconded.
Did someone second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Opposed? All
And
right.
these will go to Ed to be reviewed too, or the select board, yes. Yeah.
Did we say this would go, or just the new ones?
Yeah, just the new one where we
Okay,
were
okay.
going out on
Okay, all right, okay,
noise didn't exist before.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Can I assume that there's a possibility we will come back to some of these more general ones, such as select board, as we go through, and we might say, oh, shouldn't there already be in the
Yes.
select board thing? Or if it's here, maybe we don't need it in the select board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we just kind of agree on the language here, we're far from, I think, we're going to have to do a final
We could look at the whole
pass,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but yes.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a chance. This is certainly not the last look. All right. So then move to the next item on the agenda, which was the treasurer collector. That you need distributed.
Wait 1 second.
Okay.
I just noticed something. I finally found my copy that I marked up here. Article 4 last time.
scribbled on the ones I had given you, Lucy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, because I had left, so I didn't have anything. And then I emailed it down. Some people were down. 3 weeks. Is it up? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So-
Thank God.
So can I just go back to Article 4 for just a very simple thing? I would just number each of the paragraphs. Section 1, SCC, period 1, section 2, through section 6.
Yeah,
Does that sort of people feel about that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
if that's the way the others are,
Okay.
I think that's how they exist in the bylaws now.
yeah, we should do that.
Yes.
I mean, we should be consistent.
Yes.
Since yeah.
All right, so with the change,
Yeah.
do I have a motion?
I motion to amend the change to include section 1
Through 6,
through
yeah.
6 as,
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're done.
And by the way, and just a period after the number, it's like that's how it's,
Okay.
yeah, just so that we're not having to look at each of these.
Section 1,
separately
period,
later.
section 2, period, section 3. Okay, we got it. So we'll put that one aside. Okay, let's move on to the treasurer collector.
I did not find anything, but I'm sure maybe others did, except that I would write the very next to the last section line, water bills are also paid, can now be paid. Sounds like maybe you can do it someplace else.
They can't be, can they?
No.
Right.
So it should be are also.
So that's the only place that water bills are now mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And trash bags.
Yes.
I mean, you want to mention that?
Is it in,
Let me see. Yes, detail.
Yes, seeing as I went and got mine.
Yes.
Does the water bill say that they can be paid?
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Couldn't we just
Just
say
on the
water
water
bills
bill itself.
can be paid, but
Yeah.
not are also? Can we just write water bills can be
But
paid?
That's
but
nice.
I'm wondering whether we even have to mention it. To me, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I assume that anything that goes to the town, that you make out, anything you make out to town of Southampton can be done in the treasurer's office. It doesn't have to be by mail.
Well,
But the water department has their own department.
yeah, they have
So-
their enterprise fund
Yeah.
as a business.
Oh, so it does go to, so when I send the water bill in, my payment, it goes to the address it goes to the water department.
Which is
On the envelope, it
paid,
says that.
which is paid in the treasurer collector's
Yes.
office.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, she records it, but
Right, she records it, but technically, yeah.
So
What
we can't roll that sentence into the sentence below?
I was gonna say, why can't we say the treasurer collector also receives payment for water bills, or something like that?
Yeah.
For the following and say,
Yeah.
transfer stickers.
Right, including
bags,
water bills, yeah.
water bills.
Right, down on the bottom there.
Okay, I guess it just seems like kind of a insignificant thing to put in the bylaws. If anything, any payment I can think of that I would be making to the town of Southampton, like the water bill says town of Southampton. If I make out for some reason, if I make out a check for my transfer station sticker, it's to the town of Southampton.
Yeah, but you can also you make it out to the town of Southampton, but you can give it at the transfer station,
Right.
just as you can, you know, the Parks Department, when you rent Conant Park. They go different places, but
Right.
ultimately they find their way
Right.
to the treasurer collector.
I think this would be just letting the people know, because this is a description of what the treasurer collector does, that the treasurer collector collects fees for transfer station and water. So, because it's not just a bylaw, it's a description of what the office does. And a lot of people do not realize that they can pay their water bills in the
But how many
treasurer collector's
people
office.
that don't realize that are going to be reading the bylaws for that? To be
Well,
honest with
true.
you, it would never occur to me to do that, you know, in the past.
Yeah,
To learn that, I would call up the town, you know, it's like how do I pay my transfer station sticker this year or so? And then
Well-
they say, well, here's your options.
well, I mean, case I had someone ask this morning about a dog license, and he said, I didn't know, I forgot, I didn't know I had to, so, I mean, I think with a description, it's just, not that it has to be a known thing for everyone, but if
think
one
it's our
if one person knows
responsibility
to
to-
let people know,
But it's also our responsibility to document.
yeah,
What
because
it
I
is
think
we're
if one
supposed to
person knows, they
maintain.
can tell another,
Yeah. Oh, well, the fact is that this was a change, too.
But
Until recently, you paid them in the town clerk's office.
But to me, so here's where I'm coming from. There's some things that are, a matter of governance. There's some things that are just administrative. So when you're saying the treasurer collector has these major responsibilities, okay? And it may not list all of them. I'm sure that we haven't listed everything that you do in the town clerk section. But it's what by law you have the authority to do. Everything else is kind of administrative. And if something has to be paid, I assume, is there a place somewhere else in the bylaws where we talk about transfer station stuff? I mean, we're going to have
Yeah.
a chart
Right.
of fees, I guess, for that.
right, true.
So that's something, that's governance, essentially. It's like everyone is required, if you're going to have a dog, you've got to have a dog license. If you're going to be using a transfer station, you have to have a sticker to do it. If there's something about water in the bylaws, as I recall, so it probably talks about water bills. And if it does there, then we can say that, or that if it does have a sentence in there now, it says the water bills are paid to the water department. You can also say, or in the treasurer collectors.
So I
treasurer
think this
collector
whole line
office.
should come out then, because if we're saying see transfer station for further details, then we should just take this whole line out.
Yeah, but I don't think
Because
this
I
is
don't
just
think
for
it is.
information, well, it's kind of a philosophy thing about how to approach governing documents. I think you don't want to put too much in it. And if administratively something changes, for example, of how you want to, whether the treasurer collector, just how you're going to do the water bills, between the water department and the treasurer collector, that could change. And yet it doesn't change the essential policies of the town. It changes administratively. I mean, someone could come in and say, we're in trouble. With money, we're going to have to shrink or consolidate some of our departments. That, to the extent that it's in the bylaws now, yeah, that has to be changed. But to the extent that it's a discretionary thing on the part of the select board or the town administrator, I would think that it doesn't have to be in the bylaws. It's just a matter of how that's been done in the past. I'm just saying, at some point, it seems like you can have things in here that's just kind of an administrative detail that's not really necessary. That what's important is that you're going to use town water, you got to pay for it.
Right.
If you're going to have, use the transfer station, you got to pay for it, and there's a certain, fee for it. But That's just the way I look at it. To me, it's not, it doesn't matter ultimately, but it's just how much we want to have in the bylaws, and these are going to be pretty complete anyways. And we're adding as it is, and I think it's good that we are, and that we are fleshing out what it is that the town clerk's expected to do, what it is that the treasurer is, the expansion of the select board. I think those are great ideas. It's just a matter of, do we want to put in these little things that could change at some point and aren't really a matter of policy? Because you're still going to be paying water bills no matter what, that people are required to do that.
It's odd. First of all, this comes from the town's website, because we wanted it to kind of, the treasurer collector, they don't only collect the water bills, they also issue the water bills. So I think I think of it as, we probably shouldn't say that they could just be paid, but combine it with the last sentence saying that they collect fees and they issue.
Right, because
And
you have,
collect
right,
transfer station stickers and bags and water bills.
But up
Yeah.
here at the top, where you say responsible for printing, mailing, and collection of,
Where do you
should
see
include
that?
water bills in there, because they do that. They don't necessarily do it with the
Tax
transfer
bills,
station.
right.
Where do you see that?
Section 4,
The
paragraph
fourth
4.
Paragraph 4.
Okay,
Printing, mailing, collection of all tax bills.
okay, these include motor vehicle, boat.
So you could say, the treasurer collector's office is also responsible for the issuing and collecting of transfer station stickers and water bills, and the collection of payment for said.
Well, I was
Something
just
like
going to
that.
talk about the water
Water, yeah.
department, because they do issue those
They
bills
do,
from
right,
that office.
yes, they do.
And they
right.
do collect in
Right,
that office. So
right.
I thought it made sense to
Yeah.
just put it up here.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good idea.
so would you put
Yes.
it add a sentence before the last sentence of the fourth paragraph? So after talking about personal, the taxes, then have another sentence, because it's not really a tax, right? The water bill. Put it right after the one about the taxes. After
Yeah.
that sentence.
Right.
And before the sentence on municipal lien certificates.
So you're saying,
So the treasurer collector also.
So after the third sentence, where it says estate
Also
tax and personal property tax.
issues all issues and collects, issues all water bills
Yeah, I
and
think,
collects all payments.
except the water, some of the payments, is it accurate to say that the water department collects the payments? Not here in the bylaws, but who actually collects the payments?
The treasurer
the
collector.
treasurer.
So even if you pay it to the water department, so they're really.
They all come
Right,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It comes
So-
here and gets credited too.
So are they responsible for printing?
Yes.
Yeah.
They-
Not the water department?
Right.
Right.
The water department reimburses them their costs, since it's a separate enterprise, reimburses the treasurer collector for all the work they do for them, but all the work comes from the treasurer collector's office. So the treasurer / collector issues all water bills and
Collects
collects all
payments.
fees.
Yeah, fees.
Right. But it's for the printing, mailing, and collection.
Right.
But then we're repeating printing, mailing, and collection. Do we want to,
Just add it to the other. I mean,
well, is there a way to, except the others are like 4 different types of taxes.
I
Would
would
we
put,
say tax and water bills issued by the town of Southampton? What would that sound?
that would, well,
And then we could say the tax bills include,
how do you clarify that?
yeah,
Okay, so you could say of all tax bills and water bills.
and water bills. Yeah, issued by the town.
Because they
Of course,
do
there's
all,
only- yeah.
Right.
I'm wondering how to throw another thing out. Do we need the thing on when property bill taxes are due and when they're issued, including
That next
the dates?
paragraph.
Yeah. I wouldn't put that in because that could change. It has since I've been here.
Is there a separate article on real estate and personal property taxes?
Is there,
A separate bylaw.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yep,
It just seems,
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
that's exactly it. I'm
No.
sorry to say. It's the cough.
So, what's a good question?
I don't think it's needed in there because, first of all, you're putting dates down that they're going to be not just due, but they're mailed.
Right.
And it also gets confusing because you're saying they're issued and collected on a quarterly basis, but they're sent in three mailings.
Because one has got two parts.
I
to it.
guess we would refer to that fee schedule here, that
Yeah.
tax payments are due
Yes.
as per the fee schedule
Yeah.
attached.
Yeah,
It just seems that it's weighty.
I would,
If we didn't do that, the only other thing I would do is just put it in bullets below, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three. Because this is,
but I kind of agree with Virginia. I'm not sure that it's needed.
When you get your excise
It
tax.
says it right on there when it's due,
Yeah.
the next one,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
People will know.
okay.
And
So,
they must know they're going to be paying taxes.
Yeah.
So-
No, I'm fine with that, and
Yeah.
just reference the fee schedule.
Well, do we even need to do that? Because
Well,
we got
I
to
mean,
be, yeah.
the issue is, for me, is that the first bill is two bills, and you gotta hang on to the second
Second
one.
part.
Okay? I just think for clarification.
But is that by state law?
I
No.
don't know, but just by.
No, because some places only tax once, some places tax twice. We went from 2 to 4,
Except we're only sending it out.
3 times.
So it just seems, why is it why are two bills, 2 quarters sent out together?
I
and
don't
then
know.
I don't know.
I don't
It seems like it should be one for the
I know.
whole year.
I
either.
do know that what happens is half of the year you have one tax.
Well, it's in one fiscal year, and the other half of the
Right.
year is in the other,
Right.
is in another fiscal year. That may
Yeah.
be exactly what
But you
they
could
do
still,
anyway.
but
Yeah.
why not pay for
I
the,
mean, calendar.
for the spring?
Yeah, calendar
Yeah, but for the
years.
first 6 months of, for the ones due, what is it? May 1 and August 1 or whatever it is, why not send those at the same time?
Well, yeah, do the mailing twice, and,
Okay.
Yeah, because they do
yes.
well,
February and,
the first 2 payments are an estimate based on the previous.
Year.
And then you have the actual bill.
You're right, yes.
And
Okay.
then the
Yes.
4th one is,
Yes,
okay,
you're right.
okay.
I'm sorry, which one is for the next year? The 4th one is?
the 3rd one is the actual bill. The
Okay.
first 2 are estimates
And
based on
and
the
the last
year
2 are
before.
the actuals. That's why there's always.
But are those the same, the 3rd and 4th quarter?
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, the
The 3rd and 4th should be the
The
same.
third and fourth are the
is the
same,
same,
yeah.
the first and second.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, what are you calling the 3rd and 4th at the end?
The actual.
Well, wait, but that's the
Okay.
ones that go out at the beginning of the year? What?
No.
What's the, you talking about
Okay.
the 3rd and 4th calendar quarters or by fiscal quarter?
Fiscal, no.
So
Yes.
the bill that I get this, in a few weeks, that's the 4th quarter bill, or is that considered the 2nd quarter?
That
or
will be
3rd
the
quarter?
July, the August and the November bill, right?
And
So
those
that would be the estimate.
Yeah.
Oh, I've already,
Right? August and November.
so the last 2 that I paid,
For the actual.
and they were the same
Yeah.
each. So why aren't those sent out together?
I don't know, but I mean,
know, it's a-
when you think about it, that would be a cost savings if it
Yeah.
made sense. But I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe, Janine,
And then people would be getting, then it makes sense for the way that the town does it, and also makes sense to the property holder, because it's like, okay, they're the same. And I'm getting two, just got to the end of last year, now to the beginning of.
that would make sense, but,
I'm sure there's a reason why.
yeah.
Right.
So the question is, do we really need to have anything about the tax bills in here, other than that the treasurer
They're collected
collector is
on a
responsible
quarterly
for
basis.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's never been anything in detail in the
Right.
bylaws before, I assume.
Okay. So we'll put then schedule of tax
Bill
payment,
issuance.
bills, tax issue and payments, see fee schedule, whatever.
Well,
Could you repeat that?
well, before you do it, because there's some other changes to the paragraph I suggest, so it's a matter of where we
Okay.
place things. So let me just ask you this, so with the table, Francine, can that be easily updated all the time
Yeah.
That's why,
without going through town meetings?
that's why
Yeah.
well, we'd have to go, no, we could
Doesn't have
just
to
do
be if
it.
we say that it's not part of the bylaws.
Right.
That's only for convenience.
It's a
Where we're doing
appendix.
That way we don't
Right.
have to go through all of this
Right.
every
So
time there's a
Right.
so the
change.
town clerk and/or town administrator could, even the select board could go ahead every year and update that, right?
Yeah.
So that if you change the way that the bills are sent out or anything.
That whole fee schedule is changing all the time because different commissions may,
Excellent,
Right.
yeah.
But there's not going to be a fee schedule probably on the
it's not a
taxes
bylaw.
in the bylaws, in the table, is it? Will there be?
No, we'll just reference
Unless
it.
you
It
have the
won't
mill
be
rate.
part of,
Yeah.
but it will, right? It's going to be
Reference the
available
fee, yeah.
online in the town office,
Yeah.
in the annual reports.
So that people can know. But, yeah, I mean, every so often, we've been getting, Conservation wanted to raise their fee,
Transfer station.
transfer station, yeah.
So,
I'm just gonna X this out.
Yeah, me too.
so those two paragraphs are being Xed out, right?
So the no reminder
But the one before that?
and that one before it, yep.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
and then before we add this other sentence on the tax paragraph, what if we take that last sentence, the tax collector's office issues and maintains a record of municipal lien certificates to be filed at the Registry of Deeds in Northampton?
Okay.
Where do you see that?
Fourth
The
paragraph.
fourth paragraph, the last sentence. Why don't we make that a separate paragraph or combine it with something else rather than having it in the tax section?
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
And in fact, we could put it somewhere else possibly, whether it's a separate paragraph, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that really...
right, yeah.
No, I guess it really, there's something to combine it with, it doesn't look like. So a separate paragraph? Okay, so we have it in the next paragraph? I mean, just move it down to a separate paragraph right after?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then,
And then in place of that sentence in that paragraph, put what you're suggesting, Francine.
The treasurer collector is also responsible for printing, issuing,
Well, that's the first, yeah.
yeah,
And the second sentence is
Right.
the examples.
yeah.
And then third sentence is the reference to being included on table.
bill
Yeah.
issuance and payment schedules,
Fee schedules,
yeah,
or bill.
are
Say
available
it again.
in, yeah.
What is it?
I'm just saying, because we want to let people know when the bills are sent
Right.
out. Bill issuance and payment due dates
There you go.
RN fee schedule.
Yeah.
Okay,
are published.
the bill,
Yeah.
yeah, so the bill issuance and fee dates, or no,
And payment due dates.
and payment due
Yeah.
dates, yeah.
published in the fee schedule.
Let's call it, say specifically, tax bill issuance and payment due dates.
Okay, I'm sorry, so what is it again?
Tax bill issuance and payment due dates are published in,
Do we want to say tax bill and water bill? No,
no, we'll
no,
say
we have
that,
to do
yeah.
water, okay.
Or do you want to say
Are
all?
published in the fee/permit
Okay.
schedule
Okay.
Schedule,
issued, yeah,
schedule,
schedule.
appended to these bylaws? Attached to these bylaws? What do you,
Well, yeah, I mean, but if we attach them, do they then become part of? And so,
not if you have a note that says clearly, in big letters,
Okay.
that it's not part of the
Yeah.
bylaws. These are included as for
Okay.
informational purposes, you
okay,
know.
And subject to change.
Yes,
Yes.
very important.
okay, so appended to these bylaws is fine.
What is it?
Appended to these,
Appended to these
To
bylaws.
these bylaws.
Tax bill issue and payment due dates are published in the permit schedule, fee permit schedule appended to these bylaws.
That sounds good.
that's great.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the section numbers, I think it's sections 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7 that we're left with.
So section 1 is para 1. Section 2 is para 2, right? 3 is the third paragraph.
Can I just ask, so section 4 is going to say, the office of the treasurer collector is responsible for printing, mailing, and collection of all tax bills and water bills issued by the, okay. I just want to make sure that because we're taking out that water
Yes,
section
and
on the
water
bottom.
bills
So we're
issued by
taking
the
out
towns. Yes.
that line that says water bills are also paid, okay. And are we leaving in the transfer station sticker line?
Oh,
And
well,
the
let's get
bottom.
down to that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But first of all, before that, section 4
Yep.
is the taxes, and then the one about the record of municipal lien certificates
Yep.
will be section
Then
5.
That'll be
Yeah.
section
Yeah.
5, yes.
Okay. The treasurer's office is responsible for processing paperwork.
What?
Yep.
Where are
Okay.
you?
Okay,
That'd be
right,
section 6.
right,
Yep. Third to the bottom.
That's 6?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so that brings us to transfer station,
Yeah.
which,
I put that up there too. I wouldn't pull that out separately.
So you would put that under section 6?
right, if
No.
we-
Or 6.1 and 6.2?
No.
You want to put it in section?
Section 4?
Or,
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Where can we put it?
I would put it at, after the thing on tax bill issuance and payment due dates is where I would put it.
So that comes under 6.
Under, I would do under 4.
So we would
What do you
say the
think?
office of the treasurer collector is responsible for the printing, mailing, collection of all tax bills and all water bills issued by the town of Southampton. The
Oh,
treasurer
so
collector
all-
office also collects fees and issues all transfer station stickers and bags.
No, I would have it,
See, so that's where we need to find out where
okay,
we're going to put
but,
that.
but first of all, is it all water bills or just and water bills?
And 1.
Oh, yeah, okay. So take
Yeah,
out
because we
that.
already said all tax bills.
sorry
and
about
water.
that.
Okay. So, and then we have, these include, and we list the taxes. And then we have the tax bill issuance and payment due dates are published in the fee permit schedule.
What happened to the one about the liens? That became section 5.
Yes.
Okay.
But in
Right.
section 4, we now have 3 sentences. So,
Right.
responsible for the printing, mailing, collection of all tax bills and water bills. These include, and the name of the
Right.
taxes.
Yes.
Then the third sentence, the tax bill issuance and payment due dates are
Right.
published. Why
Yes.
not have the transfer stickers, the fourth sentence, the next sentence after that?
All right, section 4?
Yeah, but I would probably leave out C transfer station for further
Yeah.
details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
agree with
we'll
that.
rest that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that becomes part of section 4. Then we have
Yeah.
section 5.
Yeah.
Section 6 is modified. It reads, one line, real estate and personal property tax bills are issued and collected on a quarterly basis, period. that's where that section 6, that's where the sentence should go. Tax bill issuance and payment due dates are.
Wait, in section 6? I thought we were going to do that in section 4.
Yeah, I thought we were doing that in section 4.
I know, but we're talking about here, personal property are issued on a quarterly basis.
I thought we took that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you took the whole
we took
thing
real
out.
estate property, all of that.
Okay.
Those
And the
two
next one, those
Okay.
two periods.
And then-
No
Okay.
reminder of taking that out.
Yeah, I got that.
Yep,
Okay.
taking the real estate, yep, that's all.
All right,
taken out.
then that's fine. So
Then
that-
section
that's-
6 is the one, treasurer's office is responsible for processing
Right.
paperwork on new terminating.
Right. Yep.
Do we want to repeat the word department, town departments and school departments?
Rather than,
Under section 6.
There's office and production disbursement of employee paychecks for every town and school department.
and what are you suggesting, Virginia?
Just for, take out every, say town departments and school departments, because they're different departments at the schools too.
So why don't we just say for town and school departments?
Now,
For all, what if it's for all town and school departments?
got a question. I don't want to put the all in there. Because Hampshire Regional
Right,
Business Office
right.
gets a lump sum payment.
Right,
from
and they issue
Right.
And then they issue
paychecks.
Yeah.
paychecks, because it includes
Right.
5 towns.
Right.
Yep,
So we want to say for town and school departments?
Yeah, for town departments. I want to repeat the departments.
So for town,
Departments.
so take out every and say for town and school, for town departments and school departments?
Yeah,
what if we said the treasurer's office all handles the production and disbursement of the the switch of the paychecks for town and school employees? No?
that, we should say and local school.
I would say
Local
local
school.
school, and the
Yeah.
local school department.
Yeah, okay.
Local school department or local school
Local
departments?
school is fine.
Local school, because, yeah, we
Yeah.
only have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone want to read it back?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. what we're-
Yeah, just,
So the treasurer's office also handles the production and disbursement of the employee paychecks for town and local school departments.
we could
Right.
not,
But Virginia wanted to know, to list.
Town departments and local school department?
all town and local school
Employees.
employees.
Yes, I think we should say the treasurer's office also handles the production and disbursement of the paychecks for
Yes.
all town and local school employees.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the paychecks for all
the-
town
Yep,
and local school
employees.
employees. Now, local, do we still want to capitalize school? And what do we do with local?
I would capitalize both.
I would capitalize both, yeah.
Local?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's a, right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
the
that
treasurer's
becomes
office,
sentence
yep.
1, and then sentence 2 in that paragraph. The treasurer's office is responsible for processing paperwork on new, terminating, retired employees and for the administration of all employee benefits.
That sounds good.
Now I'll go through another question. It must be the treasurer collector who remits funds to Hampshire Regional.
Yes.
So are we going to put that in there?
I think we probably should.
Yeah.
What? But isn't local school, doesn't, I thought the reason for saying local school was,
It means
To cover that.
Norris.
Norris.
But-
But she takes care of all Norris bills.
Right.
But the regional bills,
Takes care of all of their employee
So who-
paychecks and benefits.
okay, and so the way it works, so if I teach for the regional school, then paycheck says regional school.
Hampshire Regional.
Okay. But the money for my salary has been remitted, or a portion of it, whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
from the town.
5 towns,
Right.
yep.
5 towns,
So-
yeah.
For all the expenses.
For all its-
Not just the employees, but all expenses.
But, okay, so the paycheck is Hampshire Regional. So let's say my paycheck is $100, okay?
Yeah.
And I know you fought for it to be more than that over there. But just for simplicity's sake.
It wasn't much more in the beginning when I started.
So it's $100, and it says Hampshire Regional.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are paying me.
That's
actually.
right.
So my paycheck, my employee paycheck is from the regional school. However, probably less than 100, what portion of that $100 comes from, it comes from the town? Is it
Right
all
now,
or
about
less?
55%,
Okay,
It went down.
but that changes. Maybe it's 52.
all right.
Yeah, but it went down this year because
Based on
we have
enrollment.
less students up
Okay,
there.
so the town isn't responsible for 100% of my paycheck
No.
Right.
with the regional schools.
Right.
So we can't say that the treasurer, the town treasurer issues paychecks then for the regional
But
schools.
what,
So it's just
right,
for the
but
local
what she's
schools.
saying, we should have a sentence in there that based on its annual assessment, the town treasurer is, collector is responsible for remitting Southampton's portion of the Hampshire regional budget.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
to the business office.
Yeah.
But we'll,
But that's apart from the employee stuff.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
nothing to do with
Right.
being an employee of the regional school. But doesn't the towns are required, makes remittances on a number of things, right? In which it participates in, it's responsible for, would you know, Francine?
Say that, start at the beginning.
Well, actually, three of you would know for sure. Isn't the town making remittances on all kinds of things to other government bodies, commissions? There used to be the region, or there's the Council of Governments, or
Right,
whatever it's
right.
called.
It does, yes.
Okay.
right.
So that's a more general thing. It's not,
So could that go under general government?
Right, that
At
fits
some
in
point,
under
yeah.
the, yes, that would
So-
fit in under the, I think, the town as a
Right,
whole.
right.
This is something that is not managed by the town, it's just paid for by the town.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Bobby.
So this whole section 6 is really for employees. So.
Do you want to
the
add a
town-
section?
Well, it would be the more general one. So let's look at section 1, receives.
Or maybe according to
Oh,
the
right.
general
Yeah.
laws takes care of that.
Where's that?
Disposition of town scholarships and account payable, that, it's taken care of there,
You
I
think so?
think. Yeah,
As it relates to the management.
Well, but it's other, but it's a number of type of payments that aren't included in section 1. The question is, do we need to add that? But it's more than, a lot of that's not included by the language now, I don't think, right?
And yeah,
So,
yeah, if somebody read that, they would never get, yeah.
so, I mean, you would have to, if we put something in it, I would suggest something very general, generic. So all payments it is required to make by, so I won't just say by law, because Council of Governments isn't necessarily by law, is it? They
just dissolved
it's
it.
agreed, right.
Yeah.
But that's something that can come and go. That's
Yeah.
one reason for saying, doing it generically. And what about isn't there like a planning commission for, it's out of Springfield, for the Pioneer Valley?
Pioneer Valley.
I assume
Yeah.
that we participate in that and make payments. So,
But I see those as different than I see our
Yeah,
relationship
that's-
with
yeah.
Hampshire Regional.
how is that?
Because I think whether we join PVPC or the Council of Government is optional. We're obligated
Yeah.
to educate the children
As a district.
and
Yeah.
and so I think accounting for the mechanism for payment should be addressed. I agree, it doesn't need to be in detail, and I would just put it in that they're responsible for payment of the annual assessments to the regional school district. I would just leave it at that.
Yeah,
If you want to put that in the first paragraph. Or
If we do that, then I would say, and all other,
contracted or,
or affiliations,
yeah,
and, yeah,
or governmental affiliations.
and all, yeah, government affiliations.
Because I know what you're saying, he wants to just be inclusive.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that we at least name the
Yes.
the regional school thing. So-
Okay.
So I would,
Yeah. This is,
could just add a sentence at the end of section 1.
and what would that be?
And government.
actually,
Yeah, I would just, I think it needs to be a separate sentence,
oh, yeah.
because it's not by the general laws necessarily.
Okay. So we're saying what the
Just add the treasurer.
Treasurer collector is also responsible for the remittance to,
For the
Or for
remittance
the
of
payment of
payments.
Annual
remittance of payments
assessment.
for annual assessments.
Well, I'd say for the payment, I guess.
Okay. To the regional school district.
For the
Payment
payments
of,
of what?
why don't we just say for all required payments? It may not be annual always if there's a special.
They call it an annual assessment.
But there could be a special assessment, like there could be some emergency in the
Yes.
middle of
Okay.
Right, true.
of
Yeah.
the year. For
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
some state board might say,
Yeah.
Okay.
we're closing the schools down unless you make
Right.
Okay.
$100,000 worth of
All right.
repairs or something.
You're
In the
right.
boiler room or something.
The, also, if we have, a debt exclusion like we've had, I think that's come off now, if I'm right. For the,
School.
School roof.
for the,
Yes.
well, it wasn't the
Yeah.
roof, that was Norris roof, but it was all the renovations up at the region.
Yes, that
Yeah.
has, Hampshire Regional, yeah, that's,
The
yeah,
new science wing and
yeah,
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do we say, the treasurer collector is also responsible for all required payments to the, and what is it called, to the regional school district?
Right.
Yeah, it's called regional, yeah.
To the, okay, capitalize the 3 words, the regional
Yes.
school district?
Yes.
Yes.
And,
To other government affiliations.
okay, to
Yeah.
other government
Yep,
affiliations. Excellent.
yeah.
For other government affiliates.
We could say,
Or for, well, 2 other, yeah. 2 other government. Well, affiliate, isn't affiliate usually that which is affiliated with you? So if you're the Hampshire
All right,
Regional
we're
School
not-
District, then it's
Yeah.
fine.
We're,
yeah.
we're,
Or the plain-
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To other, but, and with you,
Another
affiliation doesn't seem quite right.
And other government.
entities? No, that's not, no, that's not.
Well, you could say, but it
Yeah,
had more
no.
words to other entities which the town is affiliated.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah,
too- yeah,
that's what
that's
it
too-
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
do we want to say that to other government entities with which the town is
Yeah.
affiliated?
Yep.
To other government entities,
can we
With
just
which?
put period after entities?
well,
Because of course it's,
another entity.
we could just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say period,
That's
yeah,
the less the
yep.
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good to me too.
I think it looks
I'll
good.
do this one, okay? You've done all of this, okay? Are you all right with that?
sure.
Okay. Kind of share the load here, okay. Then you can see if I get it right or not.
I don't think any of us would get it 100%.
Okay.
Because we have so many suggestions.
Okay.
But a lot of it's just moving it around. That gets complicated.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot clearer, I think.
I think it reads great.
And of course, we want this to go to Jen. So
Yes.
to get her feedback.
So when I send it out to you, I'll send a draft to Jen.
All right, do we need a motion, or do we do that next time?
Are we going to read this whole thing in, or?
This is a way to
Well,
bid.
Okay.
I would think we should wait and see the
Yeah.
finish.
Yes, before we
Yeah.
do. So this will be,
Because mine is
Yeah.
such a mess now.
but I'm going to go ahead, and whatever it is I produce, I will send to all of
Okay.
you and to
Yeah.
Jen, so that when we can get her feedback and whatever
Okay.
changes, we can incorporate with our corrections, because I'm
Okay.
sure there are going to be some. Okay?
Sounds good.
And you win on the cough meter. You're beating me,
I'm sorry.
unfortunately. No. I'm sympathizing with you. Okay, all right, it is 11:15. We still have, which one do we want to go over? We want to go over the select board again, or
Oh, dear,
let me see where we are
Let's-
in terms of this?
This-
No, we have general government
Yeah.
is the next item.
That's a big one.
Do you want to do that, or you want to schedule, adjourn now and then come back?
Maybe we should start and just at least,
Okay.
let's see what it is that we're working with and what
Okay, I don't
general
I have a
ideas.
separate copy
I'm
of that
fine with
for
that.
some reason.
Okay, so we have,
Oh, wait. Is that Article 1?
Article 6.
It's page 10 of the bylaw.
Oh, okay, there we
Well,
are.
this is, what was the name of the woman that chaired the farm?
oh, Velda.
Velda, yeah, so it's her marked out copy. In some cases, we're not sure whether more was marked out than it appears there's marked out.
So, town clerk, we did. Treasurer collectors, we, so I'm going to throw these other pieces of paper away, because then all I end up doing is accumulating stuff that I don't need.
This can't be.
This is weird.
Well, yeah, it starts out with, they're going to close streets.
I know.
Okay,
Who
so
are they? How'd they get elected?
this out, this out. And this is a
Well, this is just some of their duties.
Didn't we include
Okay,
that
we have
first
this.
section in, under select board?
About streets?
Yeah,
Right.
I thought we did.
Well, let's take a look at what it is here. Some of it does belong in other articles, maybe all of it.
You know,
I'm sorry.
it should start with who they are and when they're elected. Is that any place else?
Okay. Do you have the select board at Article 3?
Article 3?
That we
What page?
had done.
We worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says in the first paragraph, it consists of 5 members
Yeah.
elected by the voters.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all there.
Yeah.
And I know there's some place in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
good.
section 6 No. Not
Oh, I
section
have
6.
here, I found what the website says. In Article 3, okay, I found that.
Do you have the one that we worked on?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got cross-outs on it?
It has the sections added.
Yeah,
What
okay.
are you looking?
The one you
Oh,
passed
no.
out today.
This one.
No, the Article 3, I don't think we passed it out today, did we?
She didn't
Or-
pass it out.
No, we
That
had
we
it.
approved
had
it the
Before,
last
before we did.
meeting,
We've
I
already-
think, Virginia, so you may not have a
Yeah.
copy
I
of that.
probably don't.
Oh,
And we made 2 changes.
Well,
And
now
it's
I
all
have
has the
one.
sections in it.
yeah.
So it looks like this now. and
No, I
you
don't
might not have a copy.
anything like that.
Do you want me to run down and make you a copy?
Well, it would help.
Okay.
Okay,
Anybody
and
else?
I
Look at
and I
it with me.
had 2 changes, I'll show you when you come by. That we talked about the last meeting, I think.
What were the changes?
Oh, they're grammatic, I mean,
Jonathan, is that your wallet
Yeah.
on the ground?
it probably is. Thank you.
It is, yes.
All right.
Back pockets.
So,
Bylaws is capitalized.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
right,
bylaws.
the bylaws. And then the other change I had, Janine, was on the next page.
Yep,
Putting in a comma after permits.
yep.
Okay.
Those are the only changes I
Okay.
had.
And then capitalizing the bylaws.
Bylaws again.
Oh, good.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Okay, so I'll get rid of these things. I can throw these out and get
Let's see.
the new one.
Yes, I think so. Unless you want it for your archives.
No.
I sometimes keep stuff just to see how things develop in case there's a question like, how do we get to this? You know, if I'm unsure of some meeting or anything, what we're trying to do.
You'd be surprised at the stack of papers that I throw out almost every week or
Oh,
so.
good for you. You stay open.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm sure they have the records here. I have 19 years of community preservation stuff in my attic. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, and I need to get it organized because I'm not doing this forever.
You're so good at it.
But it's like last night, we don't know really who all's going to be on the committee
Right.
because we don't know who might come from the other committees. And I guess, Rini doesn't know if the select board, somebody else might want to do that. Joy does know she's back again from conservation. We don't know about planning board because that was it's been Jim. How's he doing? Do you know?
He's doing well.
Good.
Yeah. And my brother Eugene is also.
Is too?
Did he have surgery too?
Oh, yeah.
Within 4 days of each other, they had open heart surgery.
I didn't know.
These are,
My brothers.
Well, Jim's was scheduled. The other was emergency. Thank you. At least that's what I understood. It was rather quick.
Yeah.
Our family has had some serious health problems. I saw your sister out at voting, getting around. Anita, it's good to see her out.
Oh, good. Okay, so are we with general government or select board, or both? We're gonna
Well-
look at
Cross,
both.
are we gonna cross?
Cross,
I think we
okay.
although there's going to be cross-reference possibly with other articles as well. Because this is more than just select board that's talking about.
Yeah.
In general government, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it was kind of a place where it was kind of a catch-all, maybe, where they, stuff that didn't belong in other places.
Yeah, and then we have to talk about reordering this, yes.
Yep.
At some
Okay.
point. Although, much of this stuff, I don't even see that there was existing articles for a lot of the stuff that's in Article 6. I mean, like, there's select board, and that can possibly be moved to select board. But other stuff really is some general stuff.
I would think that we would describe the role of the select board rather than
Yeah.
specific. The select board is an elected body.
But don't we have that in
Yes,
Article 3?
we have it in Article 3.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So,
Why do we even have to have it there?
I don't think we do.
I don't
Now,
think we do
several-
either.
So here's one thing we can start off with, just in this hypothesis, that several of these paragraphs can be put elsewhere in the bylaws.
I agree.
Now, let me give you an example, which is something like I don't know, which is, go down to, everything's crossed out, but it now says Roman numeral 6, period 2. Each fiscal year, the town shall fund and hire through an independent third-party accounting firm. Who hires that? Is it the select board? Or is it the town administrator?
We do have.
I'm sorry.
another-
Okay, so when we do okay, so you got Article 6?
Yeah,
Okay, go down to the 4th paragraph, where it says Roman numeral 6, period 2. This is with Velda's, wait, you don't have the same thing I do. I think you have an unblemished copy before Velda's
Yeah.
made.
somewhere here.
All I have is Velda's here.
Okay.
And maybe I should have what's on the,
Let me see, I have it, let me see.
I actually have to go. I can't
Okay.
stay past stuff to get done, so. I only have,
well, it doesn't matter, actually. For what you have, it's the 4th paragraph still. It
Okay.
It talks about, it's probably the same thing. On both copies, it's just some word changes.
okay.
So Francine, do you have something in the 4th paragraph that talks about the town hiring an accounting firm to perform the annual audit?
Someplace.
No,
What you've got?
no, I don't. Let me look here. I have another set of something here.
So you have, on this, Francine, it's under here, Section 6, letter E.
Here it is.
But,
Yeah.
So,
oh, I was looking then, okay.
so what, is this from the website?
Trying to figure that
What you
out.
have, okay. Well, anyways, but forget about the words. I'm just reading so this, who actually hires it says the town, but who really hires that firm? Does the select board vote on that? Or does the town administrator do that independently of the select board? Or is there,
We've got that whole new bylaw on the town administrator, at least we talked about it,
Yep.
with all of his or her duties.
Right, because we want
but
to,
what is the existing practice? Do you recall, because I know that in many instances in organizations, so apart from town government, but I know that many organizations, the board of directors will be tasked with hiring an accounting firm to do an annual audit. Okay, now, it doesn't mean it has to be done that way, but whoever it has governs the town usually does that. Elected officers. Now, it might be that the town administrator makes a recommendation, or the treasurer does, or the treasurer probably won't be involved, but I'm not sure. But in any event, it has to be voted on usually by an elected body.
by the
So
select.
my guess, so does that sound?
Right, it's based on recommendations, I would think, from the town administrator, town accountant and town treasurer. I
Right.
would think they would all,
But regardless of who recommends it, and regardless of what they recommend, the decision is that of the select board, right? They say, we are hiring, we're
ultimately,
voting.
yes.
Okay. So a provision in the bylaw somewhere that says, not that, this says now the town hires, but it's really the select board hires.
Would you like me to just go across the hall and ask Vicki?
the select board,
She
yeah.
would know.
Yeah.
Or I'll
Right,
ask if
but it might seem like somebody else does, but the select board is the one that actually votes on it and is responsible.
I think we have, yes, I think it goes that way, but it's based on recommendation. I don't think anybody sits down with the individual
Oh.
firms and,
Oh, right, but you don't even have to,
Right.
but you don't have to say the whole, you don't have to spell out
Right.
the process there.
Didn't
But
that just come up?
what?
They were talking about that with the budget?
Oh, about,
Because it was a 3-year contract
Right.
or something?
she's there? No? She's coming?
Yep, she's going.
Okay. I think what we're talking about is putting stuff out for bid and
Yeah.
trying to see how different it would be. Okay, so we have a question on, quick question on how the town, who in the town, which body in the town actually hires the independent auditors?
Well, I guess that would be the select board,
Okay, but it's based on recommendations that come from
myself.
yourself?
Okay.
And is the treasurer involved?
Not usually, no.
And the town administrator?
I guess if you
To some
want him to
extent.
be, you can be.
No, but I
In
mean-
the past,
Yeah.
has,
Normally, I've been the one that's been
Okay,
the pinpoint
that's what we
person,
wanna
but
know.
this year seemed to be they wanted Ed's opinion more than mine, so.
so it would be the accountant and a select board.
Yeah, so we would, so what I would do is every year I'd ask them for an engagement letter for that year. It's pretty standard. They write down what, kind of things they're gonna do, what they're not responsible for, blah, blah, blah. This is how much it's gonna cost.
This is the auditor.
This is the auditor, yep. And then normally I would just sign it and then send it back to them, but it went to the select board this year. And then that's pretty much it.
But in the past, it's always been done by the accountant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And not with the select board?
No, I've always just kind of done it because
Okay.
we have to have it done because there's a bylaw that says we have to have it done. And I
Okay.
usually am the most in contact with them. My office is
Right.
most of the work
Right.
anyway,
Right.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good to know.
Okay,
So,
because it's very vague here. It says
Very
each fiscal
vague.
year, the town shall fund and hire through taxation an independent third party.
It says the
firm to-
town, it doesn't
It
say
says the town.
who in the town, it
Right.
says the
oh,
town.
yeah, because
So we
that
want to
was
make it
modified.
clear.
I mean, technically, the town hires them, so it could be, I mean, if the select board decides they didn't want me to do it and they wanted the town administrator to do it, or highway, or someone else,
But I
then,
guess who really engages the contract?
Right.
Well, the one
Would be-
the one who votes on it is, it's the select board. But the select board, like many things, takes recommendations from appropriate town officials, right?
Yeah.
But in the bylaws, it usually says the select board has authority to do such and such.
yeah.
And someone will be up there, and Ed has his list of things that he's reporting on, you might have it, and you too.
But does Ed report to the audit department at all? No, you do all the reporting to the audit department.
Currently, I'm the one who does all the work, yes. Well, I mean, the assessors or the,
Right, but
Jen gives them their stuff,
we
yeah.
give you the information, but you have the direct contact with
Yes.
the audit.
And I always ask them for the list that's open,
Right,
all that
okay.
kind of stuff all
All
comes
right.
through me.
That's what,
So she's the
So-
interface with the auditors of
right,
the town.
right. Okay,
All right, good.
that's what I'm
Which is good.
We're just trying to,
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear ya.
It's clear.
Was that
Clear.
the contract that was a 3-year possible renewal of?
It was, they asked me if we wanted to continue the engagement letter for 1 year or 3 years, and we opted to do the 3 years.
Has it always been 3 years, or has it gone up back and forth?
They never used to do it. They used to
Okay.
always do 1 year.
Okay. So-
And this was something new that they're starting.
Okay.
The auditors.
Yes,
If they did it.
So the contract is 3 years, but they do an annual audit.
they do an annual audit, correct.
Okay. All right.
There was a
And that's-
time when
yes.
they weren't doing an audit.
Before I got here, yes.
Yeah.
I remember this came up, and it was amended, this bylaw.
It was amended because it said
In
state.
2014.
It said state. And so there was a citizen's petition to change it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Oh, the state used to hire the auditor?
Well, the state used to come in and audit the books
I
like
see.
probably 20 years ago. But right before I got here, we hadn't had an audit in probably 2 or 3 years. David didn't do it.
And the bond rating was down as a result of not having,
Yes,
Audit.
and then and because we spent all of our free cash to balance the budget, which David also told them you shouldn't do, but people kind of ignored the advice. But, but what was I just gonna say? So then when I got here, we did one, and then we were gonna do it every other year, which was fine, but then this petition came up, and then they do it every year, which I'm fine with. I have no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's kind of the nature of the job.
And the auditors are paid, the accounting firm is paid through, I don't know what it's called, the general account? Or
The general fund, yes, there's
Yeah.
a separate line item specifically for independent audit in the budget. Which is usually, because I would even ask her before we did the 3 year, I would even ask her every year, like, what do you think the cost will be next year? So that we could put that in the budget, so. Which reminds me, I should set it up for next year already, because they're probably already getting booked. Now that I think about it.
Great.
So,
Great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. Thanks.
And it's only gotten better since they've been here, so.
okay.
Thanks.
And that
So-
answers that.
Yeah.
So Vicky's title is
She's town accountant.
the town accountant, okay. That's separate, okay, got it, from
Yeah.
tax collector.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So, from treasurer, so. it's
Yes.
counted this
So
year.
the treasurer collector are one person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The accountant is.
So it seems to me we could say it's the select board, and that we can have that in the select board section. We don't have to spell out the process of recommendations or
Okay.
whatever, because the select board has a lot of authority that they operate pretty much on recommendations, right? As well as citizens coming before them and just saying, I think when you do it this year, I would suggest you do this. And they decide what they want to do. So here, in Article 6, so what I'm looking at is this thing from Velda, I think. And some of that may have already been adopted by the town, I don't know. But the first paragraph that hasn't been crossed out is totally crossed out. Is something that could be moved to the select board functions, although I think some of them may already be there. And then the next paragraph, which is the one we just talked about with Vicki, that can be rewritten to say the select board rather than the town, and that can be the select board section. The paragraph after that, I can't read it. I have no idea what it's trying to say, but I don't know what the subject of the sentence is.
Oh, it's basically for the annual report.
Either for the
Has that
audit?
been
No.
completed yet?
No,
Okay,
It's super, super late.
it is.
all right, but
I know.
most of these it looks like every one that's left can go into the select board section except for the following. On page 10, the next to the last paragraph about the annual, about the annual reports. Okay, and then on page 11,
I know, I need to find.
neither of those is something that has to do with the select board. One is about how you amend bylaws, and then the one about bonding, and about the moderator.
Should not, under general government, should not we be talking about town meeting?
Yeah, I thought that
So-
it's not, well, we have a separate article for town meeting, don't we?
That should be the general
I-
government.
Town meeting's the
Under,
first
yeah.
one,
Oh,
I think.
it's
And in fact,
under general government? Town meeting is under general government, or is it separate?
no.
Oh, it's an article on its own.
Yeah.
It's an article on its own.
But take a look
Yeah.
on page 11
Yeah,
of this
it's an article on
Velda's
its
thing,
own.
and it has a provision that talks about town meeting,
Right.
which we can move. So,
That should be general government. That's where it is.
I'm gonna make a motion that we all print out Velda's
I gave it
and
to
go
you.
under
Why I
general
don't have
government.
it?
we have it. We have
have it?
Velda's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well,
I'm gonna have to.
I
look
have
at
it
the
that I
word.
got from,
can't get my hands on it.
Yeah.
you sent it,
I know, I gave it to
well,
you.
you sent it to all of us, maybe just to
Electronically.
me, because I was the new member.
I
that
think I
night.
sent it to
Yeah.
you because you were.
But then
there.
we also got, I think you also made copies of this for,
I did.
Yeah.
and
No,
that's,
I can't find mine.
which is Velda's.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go.
Well, so what I'm saying is, so about general government, it might be that several things, and addressing what Virginia has raised, it might be that a number of items should be added to general government.
Oh, yeah,
In
absolutely.
the meantime, I think we should be taking things out and transferring
agree.
to other
putting
provisions.
it
There's
in the
3 or
sections
4
that
that can
belong.
go.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one is on town meetings,
Yep.
and one is, and then a couple paragraphs on the select board.
Yep.
And then we can see what's left and whether any of that can go elsewhere. But then the general government may end up with kind of a potpourri, of just,
I think general government is gonna have some changes. Some-
Okay.
But we should move a lot of the select board under select board.
New people coming from other states have no idea about the town meeting.
I didn't.
No,
Right.
I mean, I didn't either.
Right?
Come along.
Right.
Yeah.
When I came here, I didn't
The
either.
news or the bad news. yeah.
And my goodness, the town we were in was, I don't know how their government is now, but it was big. You go at the high school, and they use the auditorium and the gymnasium.
so let me ask, on some of these housekeeping
articles?
items, like trying to figure out who has what, if someone has the right to send an email to everyone, that comes under the open meeting? Okay, so just taking care of housekeeping things between us, and trying to get on the same page. That's, we run into problems if we send an email out to everyone about that.
Unless it's scheduled in the agenda. It's all,
Because sometimes it just helps to, among ourselves, to figure out what it is that we all need to be on the same
Well,
page
I
as to
mean,
what we're
that's-
looking
that's
at,
where I am,
as to
yeah.
what we're going to talk about, or even sending out in advance something that kind of takes care of some of these, like
So
moving general government
redoing this
stuff
and
around.
sending it out. There's no deliberation involved, it's just information, right?
That's right.
Right.
You can send information, but you can't deliberate.
We're not going to have any conversation about it, it's just a document that you'll get and we'll bring to the next meeting for discussion.
So you could send something out saying, this is what we decided, this is what we talked about.
These are the revisions we
This
made.
is writing up the,
Yeah.
and that would be okay without.
Yeah.
I'm going to defer to
you
Judy
guys are
and
saying
Lucy.
yes, I'm saying no.
You're saying, no, we can't.
Because it's something that is within our scope of what we're doing.
Right.
So I would,
So then we have to wait
Even
until
though
our
it's a
next
work, even though it's a
meeting.
work paper.
yeah.
So then we have to wait till our next meeting to distribute it and then look at it and talk about it.
Right, because we can't, oh, yeah, I'm coming right now.
Just one moment, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come down anyways.
I don't, I hadn't,
But what about material that we get in advance for select board meetings?
well,
If it's part of the.
I unfortunately
Part of the
I
agenda.
have to go. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I have someone downstairs that's,
So that the fact that this was part of the agenda, I mean, I hear what you're saying.
can you please just
All right.
fill me in on the next meeting?
Or maybe, yeah, do you have a
We'll
minute
send
just so
we'll
you
send
can be
it to
involved?
you, okay?
Yeah,
Do
I'm here, so
that.
whenever.
Why don't we set the date right now?
Do you like mornings better than?
she needs
Mornings work
somebody
better.
there.
And what days are out for you?
None, I would, what, Thursdays,
Thursdays
these
are my
days work
only-
for me.
Thursdays?
I'll
are-
work around you all, so, but I have to go because someone is waiting.
Okay.
Oh, I brought the wrong calendar.
Do you want to do,
Last year's out for some reason, shoot.
I don't know what anybody's availability, you want to do next week, you want to wait till the 20th, if we stay with Thursdays?
And
I
we're talking
will.
about in June, July and August, I'm pretty much free.
Okay,
I will be gone next Thursday.
okay. So the 20th work for you?
I think so, I brought the wrong calendar.
Okay. All right, so we'll schedule it 10
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
June 20th, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
Did you say you can't make?
I can't make next week.
I can,
I can make the 20th.
Oh, you can make the 20th.
I
Okay.
can't next week.
Okay.
all right, so we're going to go with the 20th at 10 a.m.
Don't even be in town.
Okay. In the meantime, before you leave, let me take another copy of the copy I gave you, because I can't seem to get my hands
Okay.
on that one.
So
Yeah.
I wonder whether that's what you had emailed me right after I joined the committee, or whether it was the one that's online.
You have this one that was updated
I have
by
so many.
1816. Yeah. Okay.
Which one do
Yeah.
you, which one
Well-
is yours?
Yeah, same as his.
I know I have that.
I'm sure you do.
I can't find it.
There's a select board meeting on Tuesday?
There's on the 11th and the
Oh, mine is
25th.
Yeah.
There are select board.
They're different
Yeah,
works,
well,
okay.
I
So
don't
different
think I'll
people's.
be at that one on the 11th either.
It gets so
What's
confusing.
the one? What are we talking about?
Oh, select board.
Oh, the select board.
I try to keep track of.
Okay. All right, so with that, for next meeting, we will finalize hopefully the treasurer collector, based on the revisions that we discussed today. We'll cross-reference between general government and select board to finalize that. And I'm trying to think.
Well, there's licenses, but that, we may
Right.
not be able to do much just because it just interacts with so much else. and-
Okay.
But we can look at that. Why don't we just be prepared to go up through, there's dog kennels, weren't you doing something on that, Virginia?
We will.
Honestly,
or-
that's where we have the most information, the dog kennels.
And dogs in general.
Yeah.
I have a
That
thing
much.
like this.
Huh?
Yeah.
The young woman over at the kennel
So-
got it for me.
Okay, but there's
Well,
also that, and if we want to do that, swimming pools, the keeping of unregistered motor vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, so, all right, so it's treasurer, collector, general government / select board. We finished licenses. We could start on dog kennels. I mean, we need to get there at some point.
I thought we were going to save that to the very end.
Okay, all
What are
right.
we?
We'll save it to the
Well,
end.
there's dogs and there's dog
Dog
kennels.
kennels.
And they're two different
We don't,
things.
okay,
And we haven't dealt with other animals at all.
okay. Do we want to do any of that yet? Do we want to do that? Okay, so we want to do those together at another time?
Right.
I don't think we're going to get it all done.
So we
Okay.
said we wanted to do drones, we wanted to do something about guns or gun ranges, we want to do something about registrars. I mean, none of those are on this list right now.
Why don't we just keep
the
going
schedule.
on the ones that are here?
Okay,
So licenses, although I'm not sure how much we'll do on that.
okay. All
But
You want
look
me
at,
to-
but look at what I,
right, let's do
so not just
that.
for cross-referencing.
And try to squeeze swimming pools in.
Well, we're
at
going to do, yeah, so we're doing 6, okay, so general government,
Right,
swimming pools, or licenses.
licenses,
Swimming pools, unregistered
Fine.
MV.
Okay. So that will be for 620.
Okay.
And unregistered vehicles.
Right. Okay. Are you okay with that, Janine? All right, good. Is there anything else for the good of the order, or not so good of the order?
Not so good.
And hopefully it'll be better in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I think
I
it
hope you
takes that
both,
long.
yeah,
Yes.
hopefully you're
Do you
both
think
better.
allergy might be a part of it too, or they
I
didn't say that?
I don't ordinarily have it.
Well, I haven't until lately. I've developed in the last 2 or 3 years. And I
Okay.
know there are allergies. I
Yeah.
go outside for
And
half an
starts.
hour at times
Yeah.
and I'm back in.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
I move.
I will second it.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, fine, and we're adjourning at 11:50. Thank you.